I get asked a lot, like, what's the difference between training and coaching? And I don't know how people muddy that in their minds. I think about, like, training is reading a book, is going to an event, it is, being in a mastermind group to a certain extent, right? It's the inputs. I'm taking in all the data inputs. I'm reading an audio program. I'm watching a video like this. All that's training. Training could be like, I'm going to grab my script and I'm going to practice it. I'm going to rehearse my listing presentation over and over again. That's training. Like, I'm building that muscle memory, if you will. And that's ridiculously important. Nobody becomes successful in their life and in their career without training. The difference between training and coaching, though, is with training, there's no accountability. See, coaching is being accountable to someone. It is articulating with someone, maybe co-creating or individually, this is what I'm committed to. This is the gap between where I am and ultimately where I want to be. And what I know is, if I don't have somebody reminding, encouraging, pushing, challenging, basically holding me to a standard, holding me accountable, then I'm never going to align my behaviors as fast as I would like, right? Like, what I love about training is I love getting fired up, and I love when the ideas start spinning and I'm like, I could do this and I could do that and I could do this. But how many times have we gone to an event or read a book and been inspired and done nothing? The difference today is I go to that event and then I email my coach and I say, there's 3 things I want to work on. And this is what I'm thinking. And we do like a little, like, here's the problem, here's the action, here's the result, like the PAR formula as an example. And then she says, what's the new routine? What's the new accountability? Where is that going to fit in your schedule? How is this going to become a new behavior for you so it's not a one and done, right? Like, so it becomes a part of what you do as a CEO, as a salesperson, as a speaker, as a real estate agent, whatever it may be. Accountability is where you get traction. Accountability is where all the action is. I think of my son. If you have children and you say, hey, during high school, I'm never going to ask you about your grades. I'm just going to, whatever happens, happens. Well, you could imagine that the vast majority of kids, for the most part, are just going to screw around and they're going to get low grades, and because there's just no standard set in place and no accountability. What I know is this: by having a weekly conversation with my children about their goals, about their grades, about their behaviors, about their routines, then you know what? All of a sudden, they're in the rhythm of success. And every time I take my foot off the gas, you know what? They may go for a couple weeks and do the right thing, but after time, guess what? The distractions of life, the distractions of business, the distractions of a transaction, the distractions of a girlfriend, all of a sudden they get a little loosey-goosey and they're off track. Coaching is about being on track. Like, at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? It's not a magic formula, right? You're not broken, you don't need to be healed, right? The myth that some people say, I'm not coachable, is just BS, right? Like, there's no one on the planet that isn't coachable. You need to find the right coach who knows how to get into your head and maybe into your heart and help you articulate what's important, what it is that you want, what's the gap, what's the plan, and then what are the behaviors to get us back on track, like to get us in alignment with our goals. That's what coaching is. That's what people need. And if you look around the world, the most successful people on the planet have that person helping them bridge the gap and holding them accountable. And that's why they win.